This is a prenatal yin practice. So in yin, it's a little bit different than a more active asana practice. We will be holding postures for longer amounts of time, anywhere 3 to 5, maybe even a little bit longer per posture. So it's not a movement heavy movement heavy practice, I'd rather say. It is more about stillness and going inward and taking time to allow the muscles and the joints and the ligaments to really soften fully into each posture. Having said that, we want to be using props for this practice. So we have a blanket, any blanket or towel will do, a bolster. If you'd rather use a pillow from your bed instead, that's fine as well. And then 2 blocks. So this practice is a prenatal practice, so we won't be spending time directly on our back during any of these postures. We'll be working with the liver, the kidney, and the bladder meridians. In Chinese medicine, the kidney and bladder meridians run along the back line of the body. So you'll be noticing forward folding or heart opening, right? And then the liver meridian is right along the inseam of the leg. So we'll get started, and our first posture is going to be butterfly pose. So I'm going to bring my bolster underneath my hips just to elevate my hips a bit. I'm going to move my blanket out of the way. Bring the soles of the feet to touch and the knees out wide. Now I might just stay right here in my butterfly pose, and I'm going to keep track of the time, so no need to pay attention to that. And you could stay lifted in your butterfly, or you might take the blocks and use them to support your head. So I would make some sort of tower like this and then fold forward. And I'll just switch orientation so you can see a little better. But in the meantime, just allow yourself to begin to focus on your breath. No need to control the breathing. Simply noticing the breath, the sensation of your inhales and your exhales. The sensation along the inner line of the groin. And you're never stuck in any posture. You can always adjust as necessary, but we do want to try and hold still. So once you find that Goldilocks position, you'll allow yourself to drop in and settle into the pose more fully. And then as you're ready, as though you're moving through water, you'll begin to lift up from the props if you were lowered. And you'll move the blocks out of the way if you were using them. And for every pose, we'll take a counter pose. So for our counter pose, I'm going to take my hands to the outside of my knees, draw them together. Take my feet nice and wide and drop my knees off to one side, windshield wiper, and then over to the other side. Just allowing the blood to flow back into those areas where we were holding. And then we'll move on to our next posture, which is called dragonfly, also known as straddle. So I'm going to use that bolster once again underneath my sit bones, and I'm going to extend my legs nice and wide. It doesn't have to be too extreme. Now you might take the blocks, if you're noticing that this is straining, you might take the blocks on their low setting underneath the knees. That's one option as you pause here in your straddle. The other option is to move the blocks out from underneath the legs. And we're going to start with reaching towards the left leg. So I'm going to bring my blocks actually on either side of my left leg and allow myself to fold over this left leg. And notice, even though I'm allowing my spine to round, which is also different than what we hear in more active asana practices. So I'm allowing my spine to round, but I'm not letting my head get below my heart. So we want to just bring our head to rest somewhere comfortably above the heart. You might soften the eyes closed and relax the jaw. There's so much research around the fact that our jaw is connected to our pelvis. So as you allow the jaw and the mouth and the tongue to relax in the mouth, there's that connection with the pelvis, relaxing in the pelvis, which we want to do when we're going through labor. So practicing this facial relaxation by softening the brow, and softening the eyes back, and cheekbones relax, ears relax, jaw is soft. Take another breath or two here. And then as you inhale, you'll begin to rise, drawing your torso to face through center. And then we'll take it over to the other side. Adjust the blocks as you need to support you. And each posture we take can become like a mini meditation. Letting go of all sense of doing. And dropping into the sensation of being. You're already doing everything you need to be. You are right where you're meant to be. Dressing your body as it unfolds. Trusting your body is such an important aspect of pregnancy. There's so many ways to get caught up in obsessing about all the things we're supposed to be doing to support our pregnancy. And while a lot of those things are important and helpful, the main thing is to trust that your body knows what to do and that your baby knows what to do. Taking the next breath to inhale, lifting up, coming towards center. So this time we'll fold down the middle and you can adjust your blocks as you need. I think I'll have them actually on the middle setting as I lean forward. You might relax the chin in your palms. Each exhale, dropping you deeper. Feeling as the earth supports you and your baby. The earth holding you, you holding your baby. Inhaling to come back up. Walking the blocks outside. Again, taking the hands behind the knees, drawing the legs together. This is our counter pose here. If you prefer to take windshield wipers, you can take that instead. Or simply hold as you bring the knees to touch. Well, not knees to touch, but bring the knees towards one another. Okay, we're going to move on to our swan pose. So for swan, I'm going to take my blocks to the front of my mat. I'm going to bring the bolster here. And I'm actually going to take the blanket to pad my back leg. So I'm going to extend the blanket for my back leg. I'm going to start by bringing my right knee forward. And swan is just another way of saying pigeon. And I'm going to bring the bolster underneath my right hip. My left leg is long behind me. If this is too extreme, I might bend my left knee into a 90-degree angle, so the inner left knee rests on the mat. Adjust the blanket and the bolster as I need. And then hands to the blocks as I inhale. And then I think I'll just have the blocks on their high setting for my elbows to rest on. You choose the depth here. Taking one final breath here. And then as you're ready, lift away from the props. I'm going to put my blocks on their low setting to prepare for the counter posture. So I'm going to let's take the bolster out of the way and bring the right knee to meet the left. You might adjust the blanket so that both knees are padded and take a cat-cow. Alternatively, you could take a down dog. I'm going to take a down dog here. I'm going to bend one knee at a time, walk the dog. And then we'll set up for the second side. So take your blanket, bring it down for the right leg. Take the bolster for the left hip. We'll bring the left shin forward. Take that bolster underneath the left hip. Extend that right leg out long. Now, you might stay here or you might bend right knee in at more of a 90-degree angle. That's your back leg. And then hands or elbows to the blocks as you soften here. And allow yourself to relax the pelvis. Again, here actively send relaxation to the face. Take one more nice breath here. And then as you're ready, begin to lift yourself up. It might be easier to just swing that back leg forward. Coming to hands and knees. We'll move the bolster out of the way and either take cat-cow or down dog as your counter pose. If you're in tabletop, you might take cat-cow. And then we'll get ready for our next posture. So I'm going to keep the blanket underneath my knees for padding. And I'm going to bring my knees nice and wide, maybe even wider than my mat. And place the bolster between my hips and my heels. And then I like to bring my arms on the block. So we're taking a child's pose here, a supported child's pose. So you could use the blocks underneath the elbows to give your belly and your chest a little more space. Or if you wanted, you could use the bolster instead, if you feel like it's not helpful behind the hips. When you're ready, begin to lift away from the floor, pressing up. And then from here, we'll move into our final pose. A supported heart opener. So we'll bring the blocks, one on their high setting, one on their mid setting. The bolster creates a ramp. You can bring your hips right up against that bolster and allow yourself to lean back against the props. Arms out by your side. The legs can be out long, or if you'd like, you can bring the soles of the feet to touch. And allow your eyes to close. Allow your breath to be natural. Relaxing all muscles of the face and jaw. Letting the face go slack. Releasing all sense of performing, making any facial expression. Just simply be. You might bring your hands to your belly and say a few affirmations to your baby. I trust you. I love you. You are strong. You might send those same affirmations to yourself. One hand to your heart and the other hand on top of it. I trust you. I love you. You are strong. You might continue to rest here. Or you might make your way onto one side. And pausing for a breath before pressing yourself back up. Thank you so much for taking this time to be with your body, your breath, your baby. Namaste.